I think that I've always had a very like visual approach to the music that I make. Like I really want it to feel like it is a scene from a movie in a way, and I think that the Almodóvar films are so like rich and human, and he has such a very specific style as well that inspires me to just kind of be completely myself.
I want to start talking about how do you tend to be really honest about your life and everything that's going on in your head, and you do that through your songs.
Yeah.
And I know it gets like a little bit more invasive for you. So how do you do to deal with that kind of stuff when people start asking you like personal questions about what they think you're talking about in your song?
Yeah, I think for me, it's about kind of having a level of boundaries, and because I am quite a private person, but at the same time, I make music as like a personal release for me, and it's always going to be personal. And I think that the artists that I love have always made personal music, so I think I'm just going to kind of continue to do that. And I'm lucky to have very respectful fans as well who kind of give me that space.
Now, speaking of your second album, My Soft Machine, you touch themes like loss, healing, and also forgiveness, embrace yourself, finding your space in the world. What was the creative process of this album?
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time just kind of gathering phrases and stories and figuring out what the message was for the music. And then I went in with a few kind of trusted collaborators, mainly in LA and in London. And it was quite like a quick, instinctive process. Like we weren't in the studio for much more than like a month or 2 months. So it was very much this kind of spontaneous emotional release.
Now, one of the names that I saw in this record is Phoebe Bridgers, a singer that you have worked before. And how do you think, or how do you describe the relationship and the way it has been growing up with Phoebe in in all these years?
Yeah, it's been amazing, honestly. I met her probably about 4 years ago now. And I'm also lucky enough to know the other members of Boy Genius as well, and that community is just so welcoming and lovely. And we met when I was a teenager and I was at the beginning of my journey, and she was so just loving and gave me so much advice and supported me when I was very much at the beginning of things. So yeah, she's wonderful.
Now, Arlo, I read that in this new album, your musical influences were like Deftones and Nine Inch Nails, but also I read that you were really inspired by Pedro Almodóvar's films.
Yeah.
How do you get to combine like films and music, but also poetry in your records and your new music?
Yeah, I think that I've always had a very like visual approach to the music that I make. Like I really want it to feel like it is a scene from a movie in a way, and I think that the Almodóvar films are so like rich and human, and he has such a very specific style as well that inspires me to just kind of be completely myself. And I think it's just about kind of picking different elements from different mediums, and I've always just been a really kind of curious fan of art in general. So I think everything kind of finds its way into my music in a way.
Also, we know that you're a really big fan of Radiohead, and also in many of old songs, or the songs in your first record, you have like, I think it was a video, I can't remember the name, but you have like this wink to Radiohead video with the
No surprises. Yeah.
So do you do the same with this new album, or what kind of wings do you did for this new record?
Yeah, so the video for Blades was the reference to No Surprises as well, with the aquarium filling up with Tom York. And I also have a lot of kind of little references within the lyrics as well to like Claire Denis and Romeo and Juliet, and also, name dropping little references that I've had. Frank Ocean as well is always like a massive influence. And I like to have those kind of little nuggets that like only the fans who are paying real attention will find.
In 2021 you have like this massive breakout, and you gain a lot of fans in the world, like you even got a Brit Award. How has been like do you feel any kind of pressure about the success of your first record compared to do this second record?
I don't think so in a way, because I think I've always been inspired by the artists who have careers that kind of last decades, you know, whether it's a Radiohead or it's a Bjork or even a St. Vincent, you know, this sense of kind of my career hopefully being a long one, I think makes me put less pressure on like each record, just kind of thinking about it as like a step on the journey, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, Arlo, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you on the stage.